Okay. Up to now, we have learned methods. This one is a little difficult, so this is more like a bonus task. When you see bonus, don't stress yourself over it. Okay. Bonus is for those who already have some experience. I don't want people to feel like, oh, I know everything. So I just always give something really a little fun. Now, homework is doing the milestone 3, C1, C2, C3 here. Okay? Follow along and ask questions if you're stuck. C1 here, it's just saying, hey, instead of using the REPL online website, you can code within Visual Studio Code, the text editor that we recommend for this class. Ideally, I want everyone to use the same text editor so we can all work together and support one another better. And I believe that this one is a very good text editor for our purpose. And we will share with you the advanced tricks, with it. Okay? It's like Microsoft Word. Everyone will, if we all use Microsoft Word to collaborate, then it'll be easier. But if you use like LibreOffice, there's like many other office software, and then things get pretty difficult. But of course, nowadays we all should use Google Docs, right? Not Microsoft Word, that kind of thing. Okay. Here is the let's get back. Today we're still using this website, REPL, and just for fun, REPL. Who here knows what REPL means? Has anyone thought of it? REPL.it? No. REPL. Okay. It means read, eval, print, loop. So the thing on the right hand side here, it's reading your input. So I press 1 here, it reads, right? And then when I press enter, it evaluates. So that's eval, right? After it evaluates, it kind of print me the value, and it's back to that symbol again, waiting to read another input from me. So that is REPL. Ruby is one of the languages that provide this interactive console. It's a REPL thing. If you on your laptop you install Ruby, you can type IRB. That's called a REPL console. Okay, so this right hand side, it's very useful, and this is REPL, and I use this tool because it's so much easier to show how things work. If you learn C, imagine you write some code and then you try to compile it, and then things don't work and you don't really know why. Okay, back to this REPL website. What we learned today is that we're now pretty comfortable about numbers. We can do a lot of operators with numbers, but that's not much to it if we don't, print some information out. So we need to associate with something that user can understand. So name, right? If you only print out age is 28 years old, that's not interesting. You need to say age of whom. So name is kind of cool. Then we have to use string and variables. But within string and arrays are something I'm showing you next. They're both super cool. We learned about methods here, and I'm going to show you some new methods in string and arrays. Okay. So what's going on here is string methods and array methods. Okay. So here, method we learned, for example, you can define a method. Say if you want to just say add 1 to a number n. How do you define this? Just n plus 1, right? Whoops. This is the simplest method you can write. Okay? Or you can say, full name. Here is first and last. And then here is first dot plus equals plus last, like that, right? Notice that this is always the variable name. So some of you, please don't put like, John here. This is not where you put the value. Here's where you put the variable name. Okay? All right. This is the argument. I will come back to this. Now, string methods. When I say string method, what comes to mind to you guys? Okay, there are many methods, correct, for strings. They are very useful. So it means if I have a string here, I call this string, this is a string, okay? Now notice a discipline, space equals space, right? This is a string. When I say string methods, how do you call the string methods? Can you call one string methods? Do you know any string methods?
Verse.
Oh! Did you do that for arrays just now? Let's check it out. Hey, that's cool. I almost, write something bad. Right? That's not too bad. So my favorite word to get reverse is this. Right? Life is evil. So that's one cool method. Do you know any other methods? Sort. I don't know, does it work? This is a string. Can you call sort on it? No. Well, it doesn't make sense, right? But there's something that's very similar to array. Right? It's the size, which is a number of characters in a string.
A string is basically an array of characters, so why?
Okay, yes, you can understand a string as an array of characters. It's not exactly the same, but in a lot of cases, it feels like that. Okay, so let's learn a few more cool things here. I have shown you guys there's a reverse method, there's a length method. What if there is something like this, 1, 2, 3? Is it a number or a string? It's a string. How do you turn it into a number? Correct. Then you can type like this. Well, you can turn 1, 2, 3 to a number. You notice if I leave it alone, then this is a string. But if you do 1, 2, 3 and you convert it to an integer, then it's 1, 2, 3.
If you had 1, 2, 3, 8, and I'm trying to do 2 into it, what error would it go?
So if you do 1, 2, 3, ha ha ha, and you convert to an integer, what do you get? You get ha ha ha? No, you just get the part that is, it just read from left to right and it just return a number for you. It's useful sometimes. For example, if you ask for the user's age, what's your age? And then the user type 32. What the user types for you is a string. And now if you want to compare if the age is greater than 20 or not, whether you can drink, right? Then you have to convert the age into an integer first. So keep that in mind. You have the dot 2i. Okay? Now, when you have a number, you can convert back to string. That's just the other way around. So we don't know many number methods, but we do know that a number you can convert it to a string. Yeah? So within the string, there is one really useful method. This is a string, and if I call split. Who can explain to me what happens? Ian? The split method, what do you think it's doing? Yeah? Okay. So it split a sentence into words. Okay? So it will look at non-alphabet characters, maybe, and it will split them like that. It's actually looking at the spaces. Okay? So What if I have something like Loy, Dan, Lewis, and I want to split by, what do I want to split it by? I want to split this into 3 people. Comma. So I split by comma, then I can use one argument. Notice no argument up here because it's optional. Down here is you can say, hey, you can split by the comma. And then I have 3 names. Do you notice anything a bit funny here? It's not perfect. Lewis, what do you think? This doesn't look that perfect, right? Do you see this this split? You get the space. How do we get rid of that? If you write a string with no space like that, when you split, then it will look perfect. But then the original string is not perfect, right? So you can keep it like this. You can split it with the space inside. So, okay. So now think about this. You have a way to convert a string into an array. And you remember array has a lot of cool methods. Now you convert a string into an array, you have even more cooler methods, right? What about an array of characters? Right? This is a string again. Split. If I pass it an empty string, I split by nothing. I split, this is an empty string. Then now you get an array of characters. So isn't that cool? Now you can do sort if you want. So you split and you sort if you like. And then you get a few, there are 3 spaces here. This 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. Now they all get sorted to the front. Capital letters are sorted before lowercase letter. Okay? So this is not really anything programming. We're just trying to remember some cool methods, and it just makes your life easier if you are interested in them. Any question about splitting by an empty string? Did you have a question there, Ian? It's always possible. A string, if you split a string, you always get an array. Huh? 2 integers, yeah, it will just, let's say, okay, you have a question there. Let's say this one, you convert to an integer. It's always possible. If you cannot convert into a number, it just becomes 0. Right? It just read the first letter A. What number do I have so far? Oh, 0? Okay, return 0. But if you do 1, 2, 3, ha ha ha, right? To I, then it's okay, 1, I keep 1. 2, I keep 2. 3, I keep 3. A, quit. Okay? So even if you do 1, 2, 3, A, 4, 5, 6, dot to I, what do you think will happen? That's it. It just quit right there. It's good enough. Alright, let's back to string, right? Let's get back to string. I want to show you this one. Let's say if you have the country name. So this is a country name. What's wrong with this word? That's correct. That's not capitalized. So what do you want to do to it to make sure it looks better? You don't capitalize. That's crazy. It can do that. So Ruby is really, it takes care of a lot of things that you don't have to think. It's in your, it makes sense. Like if you see it, I've seen capitalized ones, you never forget it. Let's try, what if I have this word, And then you're like, that's too much. That's shouting, right? Or maybe something like this. And if you want to soften the tone, then you can say, you downcase it. You change from the all caps to the all small caps. Now, how do you convert it into the sentence again? You need to capitalize the word. So look at the original. Look at the original string. How are you? If you do that capitalize here, that's not good enough. It is. I did not expect that. Oh my God! It really downcase first, and then it capitalized. All right. Yeah, it combines. I was going to do this, but it's the same. You can do that. Oh, that's interesting. I just learned something new. Well, you can also do hey, and you can do upcase, right? So these are string manipulation that can be pretty useful. Can you think of something else about string that you want to do? You have a string, you can split them, you can capitalize them, you can upcase, downcase, anything else? Let's be creative. You reverse. Good enough for now. Alright, let's get back. Yes?
I will find a sequence of characters in the string.
Sequence of characters. So this here, right?
So let's imagine like I have a string that's like 10,000 letters long.
Yeah.
I want to find a specific sequence.
Oh, so it's like catch, for example, I don't know, maybe I have a secret weapon, and you want to find the word secret inside the string?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we express that in English?
Find.
So you use something like find secret, like that? I don't know, it probably doesn't work, right? It doesn't have a find method. Well, technically, don't kill me, but it does have a, if you pass in a random thing, it will be nil, but if it's actually possible to index it with this, but ignore it, okay? You don't really need to know this one because it's not super useful. There is also, I think there's a way to find where the secret word occur, and then it will tell you to say, hey, it's at character 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see if I can find it. Huh? Ruby string method. Substring. I think it's called, so it's like str. Come on, let's try to find it. Oh, you can find it by using index. So it's almost like English again, right? Hey, what is, the position of the word secret in my string? And it'll say, yep, position 9. And you know what? What's going to happen if I take that string and I go to position 9? That's the letter S. Position 10 will be letter E. So if I know it's a 5-word thing, you can say from position 5-letter word, 9 to 14, and that's the word secret. Notice it looks a bit funny with this string right here. So normally, I will call my string, I have a secret weapon, right? And then my string, you can use the index function. So that's what Lloyd just told us, is that, hey, if you can have a method, sorry, I used the word function, but that's all called method, that can tell me if this string, the second string here, is the argument of the method index, right? if it appears in my string. Yes, it appears at index 9. An index in a string is very similar to an index in an array, right? So let's say I have this random string, and if I try to get the index of something that doesn't exist in the string, it will give you nil. Okay? All right, let's get past string. I think we have a lot of cool things just now. So that was what? There was index to find a string inside a string, and then what else did we do? All this, capitalize. We have dot upcase, convert all the characters to caps. Downcase, convert any caps to lowercase characters. Okay, so play along with them. But now let's go back to my string. Okay, if I split, I get the words, right? So I'm gonna call maybe my words. I have my words. Imagine what I can do with my words. If I have these words, what do you like to do with them? Come again? Oh yeah, you say my words dot length. Now that's the interesting part. You are counting the number of words. If you go to the string and you say give me the number of words, the string doesn't really know, right? The string can tell you how many characters. My string dot length will be the number of characters, but my words dot length or size, right, will be the number of words. Oh, okay, that's cool. Remember what we did with my string dot reverse? Well, that doesn't make sense, right? What about my words? My words dot reverse. This is not bad. This is like Yoda speak. No, is it Yoda?
Yeah.
Yeah, so your weapon secret, right? Hey, have I? So that's not too bad. If I ask you, I give you a string, and I give you a sentence, can you give me back another sentence, but reversing all my words? Right? Can you give me back a sentence? So if I say Louis is handsome, what should the output be?
My words was handsome, and you could do my words reverse.
Right, so then will be handsome is Louis. So let's try. In this case, if you say my words, we almost have it. We almost have it. This is exactly what we want. Weapon secret A have I. But it's not a string, it's an array. So how do we turn that into an array? No, into a string. Join. Why do you think of the word join? How did we get from my string to my words? We split. So now we're just going to join them back together. So my words dot join. Are you ready? I have a secret weapon. So I say, I reverse, and I join them together. Weapon, secret, A have I. Success. Is it a success? No, why are you nodding your head? It's not the same string. I'm just kidding. It's almost a success. What do you think?
That space.
Yeah, you can actually pass in the space in the join. And this is one of your favorite methods. You do it all the time. Look at that. Right?
So it joins all the elements with the space between them.
Join the elements and put the space between them. Between the first and the second element, the second and the third element, the third and the fourth and the last. But no space before the first element and no space after the last element. So join is pretty cool. I'm going to show you why join is cool. For example, have you ever gone to a website where, let's say, the blog title is, today, Donald Trump become president, right? Have you seen something like that? That looks like a URL, right? Do you notice a lot of websites use this dash thing? Do you ever see any website that just say today space Trump space become space president? It would just think that you are actually typing search instead of typing a URL, right? So this string, what the website does is something like this. Here's my string. Here's my string. Maybe my URL will be like, it has this part, okay? Then the URL, they will just say, hey, let's split them. I will split, right? Let's say I split them, and then I join them again. Uh-oh, just let's try that again. Split, I split the space, and then I join again with the minus. And that is pretty useful, no? It's quite common, you do this, right? So in the homework, when you get to do that, you might want to check out this bonus question. To sentence is a little cooler than the join. To sentence will join normally with a comma and space, but it also used an and. And of course, up to you, but this is the, I think the Oxford comma situation, so you keep the comma, but up to you. Some people don't like to keep the comma here. Try that. It's a little more difficult than the other task. Yeah, give it a try. All right, so what have we learned about array? I'm just gonna type some array methods here. Can you help? What did we just learn from an array? If it's an array of string, we just learn the method. Yes, size. Yeah, so length, size, and all that. So we do have join though. Remember the split? Join is the opposite of split. It's kind of cool. We still have all that reverse method. Yeah? But string has something, it's powerful, but array characters, the strings, no, arrays have something powerful that you learned just now. How do you calculate the total of the values? Yeah, this thing called each. Do you have each in a string? Well, technically you have, but you don't have to worry about it yet. If you have, this is a bit more advanced. So let's say, if you have a long paragraph, okay, and then you have like, first sentence, there's a new line character, second sentence, new line character, third sentence, something like that. If you print a long paragraph, it will look like this, right? Well, technically you can do long paragraph dot each line, but you will learn that later, right? It's not important for now. Oh, but you can even do this. Long paragraph dot lines. Isn't that crazy? Ruby is like, well, I think it's common enough that you split a string into different lines, so I'm going to do it for you. Can you speak louder, please?
For the spatial symbol, like a break line, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Use a method can we do it with a split?
Yeah, good question. So here, long paragraph. Okay, don't be afraid, right? Look at this thing. It's just 3 lines. First sentence, dash n here. It's a new line. It's like the enter symbol that you type when you do gets. Second sentence, and so you technically can split into 3 lines easily with this. How do you do that? Long paragraph, split. You can split by new line characters. Okay? And then you get that. It's even prettier than the lines thing because the lines thing still keep the new line here. And if you remember, there's a method called chomp that get rid of the new line safely. You call chomp on something without new line, it's okay. But you chomp on this, it will take away the new line. Okay? So each, that's pretty cool. Have you ever wondered, you want to know the index when you're doing each? Did you think about that just now? For example, if I have my to-do list, okay? I have to first, for example, go on. Let's think about what we want to do today. Oh, I learned today. I learned Ruby. No, learn number, and then I learn string. Then I learn array. But I cannot learn array first. I cannot have to learn number first. And then an array will be an array of number or array of string, right? So this task is number 1. So I'm going to display my to-do list. My to-do list, okay? Let's print it out. My to-do list. Let's display them. To-do dot each. Okay? Here's an item, right? In the task, maybe a task or an item. And then I will display it as item. My to-do list. That looks quite nice, don't you think? But you want to make sure that this is the most important one. So there is a new method for you to use. It's called each with index. And you can add a second argument in here. And now with index, you can say, hey index, I print both index and the item. Index is a number, but when I put inside this, it becomes a string, right? So you say my to-do list is that. The index is 0, 1, 2. Right? It's the index of the current element you are accessing in the block. Can we make it a little bit better? This is more human-like. How do you make it more human-like? If you show it to your friend, they say, oh, there's a bug in your code. Yeah. Thank you. So +1. Okay. So keep it simple. Don't just do this all the time. I like to keep things very clean, tidy. And if I run it now, it looks perfect. Right? So add to your vocabulary each with index. Yes?
Is there a way to index break lines? Is there a way to index break lines?
A break line. Index the symbol. I don't. Yeah. In a string. What do you mean by?
I want to find where it would place that there's a break line.
Oh yeah, we did that just now. So let's say long paragraph. Uh-oh, I lost that long paragraph thing. So I'm just gonna see if I can find it. Hey, here, long paragraph, right? You want to find the first break line? This is called the new line, not break line. Who remember the method? This one. Long paragraph dot index, and then you say, hey, where is my first new line character? It's at position 14. Okay? If you take that string and then you go to 14, you know where it is. It's exactly 14 there.
When you split the tree, split the index is not counted.
When you split,
the new lines is not counted.
when you split by new line, well, it doesn't care about the number. It just gives you things between right, what you want to split. When you split the new line here is called a separator. Separator between, right?
If you split it by words, then the space is counted as an element.
Yes.
But the next line.
The new line, it also counts. So look, when you type split here, first sentence, second sentence, third sentence. So split, when you don't give it anything, it's split by blank space. Blank space includes space character, new line, maybe tab character. Okay? So that's string and array. Do we have any question? Then we will let you guys start getting on the lab and then ask questions, and you can go home and finish the lab. Okay? I do want to do just one tiny thing, but I don't know if that's a bit too much. It's called the one line syntax. Maybe I'll tell you guys this. Do you do this often? To do each do element, I call this item, and then you print the item. Do you just want to print everything in there? These guys? There's a way to write it in the shorter syntax. When you only have one command like this, you can do like this. To do dot each is in here. Okay? Now in here, in this each, you can just say, for example, if you just say hello, then it will still run each 3 times because I have 3 guys in to do. Instead of do and, I have the curly braces here. Okay? However, you want the item, right? If you want the item, then you have to put back the item in here. Okay? So that's all. That's the short syntax. And it reads beautiful. It's useful for a lot of purposes. And for the next day, we will learn cooler array methods, cooler than each. Each is probably one of the coolest, but tomorrow we'll learn something cooler than each. It's called map. Okay, thank you. Let's get on to the lab.